New on 11 at 11, the 19-year-old Boston bombing suspect is awake and answering questions in the hospital. What we know about how he's responding to police, plus the new video evidence that's now mounting. Plus, a southern Indiana man suspected of driving a golf cart drunk is facing charges after his friend dies during an accident. The insight the family is providing tonight. And now that the fireworks are gone, so is all the trash. 500,000 people left behind on the waterfront. The effort to get the banks of the Ohio back to normal after thunder over Louisville. All new tonight, 19-year-old Jahar Sarnayev is awake and responding to questioning in a Boston hospital. He and his brother are suspected of planting 2 bombs at the finish line of the Boston Marathon, killing 3 and injuring dozens of others. ABC's Brandy Hitt reports tonight from Boston, where new details are emerging about both suspects.
A candlelight vigil Saturday evening in Watertown, Massachusetts honored the victims of the Boston Marathon bombings and the deadly manhunt that followed.
And don't forget the real victims here. Okay? Boston, the marathon, the kids.
With the nightmare over, the investigation is just beginning. The intense search for the second suspect, Jahar Sarnayev, ended Friday with a 19-year-old found hiding and bleeding in a Watertown resident's boat. These images were taken from a police helicopter with an infrared camera.
He is moving. We have movement in the boat. He just sat up.
Jahar was taken alive, but his older brother Tamerlan was killed in another police shootout. Immigrants of the Russian Caucasus, the brothers came to the U.S. 12 years ago, became athletes, and attended top Boston schools. Then, after spending several months in Russia, Tamerlan allegedly uploaded radical videos urging jihad, and Jahar began posting anti-American tweets. A decade in America already. I want out. But it was about as American as it gets Saturday, with sporting events serving as therapy. From the Celtics playoff game,
Boston will rise and run again. Thank you.
To the Bruins honoring law enforcement in a pregame skate. And before the Red Sox played, Bostonians sang the Star-Spangled Banner while showing the world they're no longer afraid.
Jahar Sarnayev is in serious but stable condition, and we're told that he's not able to communicate with authorities just yet. Brandy Hitt, ABC News, Boston.
And the London Marathon went off without a hitch this morning as police officers watched runners make their way through the 26.2-mile course. Before the race began, the runners paused to remember the tragedy in Boston, and many wore black ribbons to show solidarity. Organizers of the London Marathon say for every runner who finished the race, they'll donate $3 to a fund to help the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing. A night of drinking and joyriding in a golf cart turns to tragedy. One Jeffersonville man is facing charges in connection with the death of his longtime friend. 11 at 11's Brittany Gonzalez is joining us now in the 200 block of Spring Street, where the friends crashed a golf cart yesterday. Brittany?
Chelsea, tonight, Chad Anderson's family understandably heartbroken over his death. His father-in-law tells me he feels like he lost his very own son. But through this heartache, the family tells me that they're not angry with the man behind the wheel. 32-year-old Chad Anderson leaves behind a wife and 3-year-old son. His last moments spent with a childhood friend on what was supposed to be a fun night out. Early Saturday morning, Jeffersonville police found Anderson lying on the ground. Matthew Myers was standing near him next to the golf cart they were both riding in. Police say Myers took a sharp turn on the 200 block of Spring Street and Anderson was thrown from the golf cart. His father-in-law says he died from internal bleeding when he broke several ribs and punctured his liver. Police found beer inside the golf cart and arrested Myers, who was the driver, charging him with operating while intoxicated. Family members say Anderson and Myers grew up together on the same block. Tonight, the family says they are standing by Myers to comfort him during this tragic loss. And at this point, it's unclear if Myers will face additional charges. Funeral arrangements are still pending. Reporting live, Brittany Gonzalez, 11 at 11.
All right. Thank you so much, Brittany. And now I'm joined by meteorologist Kristen Walls. We had a great weekend, especially for thunder. And now this week we've still got some changes, but I am being an optimist and thinking that it's leveling out just a little bit.
It will get there. We still have some up and downs in the forecast. But at least as we start off the work week for tomorrow, we're still looking at a lot of that sunshine. And we're going to continue to see these temperatures warm. Tonight, it won't be quite as cold as the past previous nights. We're not looking at any more frost advisories or freeze warnings in effect, but we will watch these temperatures tonight dropping down into the low 40s. As you head out the door early tomorrow morning, though, you may need that jacket as temperatures will still be in the 40s. We'll see plenty of sunshine to start off your morning, warming up to near 48 degrees by about 9 o'clock. Then as we head over the next couple of days, we're talking about some changes. Futurecast here showing rain showers moving in. This is a cold front that'll bring us a big drop in those temperatures by the middle of the work week. I'll be timing this more out with Futurecast and talking about that big cool down by the middle of the work week, Chelsea, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you so much, Kristen. 6 people were arrested yesterday during the largest fireworks show in North America. Louisville police say the arrests during the Thunder Over Louisville festivities were for theft and alcohol-related offenses. The Kentucky Derby Festival estimates 500,000 people gathered to watch the show on the banks of the Ohio River. Zambelli Fireworks used 56,000 shells and 250 tons of launching tubes for the impressive display. More than 1,000 police officers and bomb-sniffing dogs were also on patrol yesterday. And of course, all those people were bound to make quite a mess on the waterfront. So in order to get everything back to normal, hundreds of volunteers came out this morning to clean up the trash. The weather was the best it's been in several years, so that's surely added to the estimated 500,000 people who gathered to watch the show in person. This final cleanup marks the end of Mayor Greg Fisher's Give a Day week of service.
There was a crew that started literally the minute the fireworks stopped, we have different crews come on during the night. I would say that we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of about 350 volunteers just in this shift that we will have now until noon.
Next year will be the 25th anniversary of Thunder Over Louisville, and organizers say they've already begun planning, and it will be even bigger than this year's show. Production on a new high-end front-load washer and dryer starts at GE's Appliance Park in Louisville tomorrow. This new product line will create about 200 jobs. Tomorrow, city leaders and representatives from GE will be on hand to kick off the first time GE has built these high-efficiency products in the U.S. This is video of some of the washers and dryers already being made at Appliance Park. The new washer and dryer are part of the $1 billion investment GE made here in Louisville. Senator Mitch McConnell and Senator Rand Paul will be in Louisville tomorrow morning to help unveil a new recycling facility that will turn coal byproducts into fertilizer. Senators McConnell and Paul will join LG&E at their Mill Creek generating station tomorrow. The coal-fired plant is undergoing a $940 million upgrade to its pollution controls. LG&E says the facility is environmentally friendly because it recycles the coal-burning waste. New full-time jobs are coming to northern Kentucky when Southern Air moves its headquarters from Connecticut to Florence. Southern Air will take over A-Star Air Cargo's former offices and run its global flight operations from there. The company currently has 115 employees, but hope to hire another 150 full-time workers over the next few years. Positions would include flight operations, controllers, planners, and dispatchers with an average pay of $26 an hour. More flooding is expected in Indiana, and the National Weather Service has now issued a flood warning for the areas surrounding the Tippecanoe, Wabash, and White Rivers. Forecasters say they expect major and significant flooding in the surrounding areas. Cities like Kokomo and Tipton have already declared states of emergency after heavy rains and flooding this week. 2 men in Hamilton County were killed in separate incidents when their cars were washed away. 3 to 5 inches of rain fell on parts of central and northern Indiana on Thursday. More than 250 people were arrested this weekend in Bloomington, Indiana, at events surrounding the Little 500 bicycle race. Indiana State Excise Police said that officers arrested 235 people on 285 charges, which were mostly alcohol and drug-related offenses. Bloomington and Indiana University police arrested an additional 22 people on mostly alcohol-related charges. Bloomington police also say 5 people attending a party were hurt after a porch and its steps shifted away from an apartment building Saturday night. Zombies have taken over Iroquois Park here in Louisville, and this afternoon hundreds of runners ran for their lives. It's all part of the Zombie Run, where runners make their way through a post-apocalyptic course featuring a flipped tanker, which supposedly contained toxic chemicals. The course is just over 3 miles and ends with a free-for-all as you try to escape with your life. Runners wear 2 life balloons that dozens of zombies try to pop, which is the equivalent of course, eating your brain.
I think the biggest thing is just to have fun and stuff, you know. It's those who like to run and everything like that, it's, you know, maybe they get a good workout or something like that, but those who are zombies and stuff, it's just, like I said, have fun on both sides.
I guess it gives you a rush. You have to, because normally you go at a constant pace because you're running a long distance, and then you got a zombie chasing after you. You got to start sprinting or run around them or something.
Regardless of whether you finish the race dead or alive, all the runners were invited to attend the post-run quarantine party. The run benefits the Active Heroes organization, which provides assistance to military families here in Kentuckiana. Concerned citizens speak out about a proposed high-rise condo in the Cherokee Triangle, why they say this proposed building isn't welcome in their neighborhood. And one of America's most wholesome actresses is arrested. What happened to land Reese Witherspoon behind bars?
And we're looking at a lot more sunshine for the start of the work week, along with some warmer temperatures, but Futurecast tracking a lot of changes. We have some rain showers and also some cooler temperatures in that 7-day forecast. It's all coming up next.
On air, online, on your mobile device. You're watching WHAS 11 News.
A proposed high-rise in the Cherokee Triangle has residents up in arms, and leading up to a public hearing on Thursday, they're reinforcing their lines. Wearing red and holding signs declaring size matters, Cherokee Triangle residents were rallying supporters.
We want other neighborhoods. If you've got a neighborhood plan, you might be in jeopardy next. Your neighborhood might be next.
Right now, their neighborhood is going up against a developer intent on building Willow Grand, a 17-story building housing luxury condominiums.
We believe the building is too tall, too wide, too big from front to back, just wrong for the site, wrong for the neighborhood.
The building, they say, would require upzoning the lot it would sit on, a prospect that would violate their neighborhood plan.
The plan is working, and it was put together to not penalize the people and the property owners that existed here. So what we're saying is we didn't penalize those people, but now we're going to penalize them by ignoring that plan and letting one single developer develop something that's out of complete context here and not true to the triangle and too immensely big. So size does matter.
They're planning on wearing red shirts to a hearing in front of the Metro Planning Commission.
We want the Planning Commission to see that there's a lot of red shirts out there. There's a lot of people that don't feel good about this. And is it better to make sure that we're defending the things that these people feel very passionately about, or the opportunity of one developer?
Now, that meeting will be Thursday night at 6 o'clock at the Douglas Hills Community Center. New video tonight that shows the complete devastation in the town of West Texas after a fire and explosion at a fertilizer plant on Wednesday. 14 people were killed and 200 hurt in a massive fire and explosion, which was so powerful it registered as a 2.1 magnitude earthquake. The fertilizer plant was destroyed and 50 surrounding homes also flattened. Some residents were allowed to go back into their homes this weekend, but with some restrictions.
There is limited access to water, electricity, and natural gas at this time. A curfew is in effect immediately.
It's just really hectic, but I mean, we're patient because we know the extent of damage on the other side, and we got friends and family that we don't know about over there.
The curfew means everyone must be in their homes from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or completely out of the area by 7 p.m. Thousands of rescuers are working around the clock in southwest China in hopes of finding survivors after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake. At least 186 people have died and 8,000 more are hospitalized. According to Chinese media, large numbers of residential buildings were seen collapsed in Longmen Township, and the local government has put up temporary tents to accommodate affected residents. More than 2,000 soldiers have been dispatched to help sift through the rubble. The Twitter accounts for 60 Minutes and 48 Hours are still suspended tonight after they were hacked this weekend. The hack happened while a 48-hour special about the Boston Marathon bombings was airing on CBS. The hackers sent out tweets that said things like, "The U.S. government is hiding the real culprit of the Boston bombing," and "The U.S. government is sponsoring a coup in Venezuela and a terrorist war in Syria." A group calling itself the Syrian Cyber Army has taken credit for the attack. A similar attack happened to NPR last week. The Brady Bunch is coming back to Kings Island to celebrate the 40th anniversary of one of the show's most popular episodes. The actors that played Greg, Peter, and Cindy Brady will return to the Cincinnati area theme park on May 19th. They'll entertain park guests during 4 shows of singing, dancing, and anecdotes about the Brady Bunch. The episode, The Cincinnati Kids, aired in 1973 and was one of the show's most memorable episodes. Actress Reese Witherspoon has been arrested and charged with disorderly conduct because she wouldn't stay in the car while her husband was being given a field sobriety test by a state trooper in Atlanta. The couple was pulled over because an officer noticed the vehicle wasn't staying in its lane early Friday morning. The police report says James Toth had droopy eyelids, bloodshot eyes, and smelled like alcohol. Toth has been charged with DUI. And meteorologist Kristen Walls joining us once again, and we have a nice couple of days coming up.
Yeah, we do, Chelsea. A lot of sunshine, not only for tomorrow, but even as we head into our day on Tuesday. So we're going to start to see a lot of good things happening for us. Low 70s Monday into Tuesday, and unfortunately, we're talking about some changes by about the middle of the work week. But let's focus on the next couple of days. For tonight, though, we're still looking at this mostly clear sky. And with the clear skies, temperatures will begin to drop. We're looking at low 40s for tonight, so not quite as chilly as the past previous nights. We're not looking at any frost advisories or freeze warnings in effect for tonight. So let's take a look. Satellite and radar combined showing that mostly clear sky across the area. Still this area of high pressure keeping us high and dry. So we're going to start off the work week. More sunshine. 70s will return with those winds coming out of the south for tomorrow. We'll continue to see 70s at least for Tuesday. Then we're tracking some rain showers moving in here for Wednesday with a cold front, and that's going to usher in some cooler air by Wednesday with temperatures only in the 50s. So a little bit of a roller coaster ride with these temperatures as we head over the next week or so. Again, area of high pressure over the Great Lakes. This is creating, again, the nice conditions. That's what we had out there for today. This will carry over even as we head throughout the day tomorrow. As you can see, by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, still looking at a lot of that sunshine. Winds out of the south, again, will provide us with temperatures in the low 70s. Tuesday, I think we're going to get through most of the day dry, most of the rain staying off to our north and west. Cold front, though, will approach the area as we head throughout the overnight hours. This is right around midnight. You could see some of our northwestern counties starting to see some of the rain showers even by Wednesday morning. This is when you're going to want to have that rain gear handy. We're looking at mainly just some scattered showers. We may see a few embedded thunderstorms along this line, but the main thing with this is going to really usher in some of those colder temperatures into the 50s throughout the day on Wednesday. Rain is not going to be sticking around all day long. We'll eventually see these clearing conditions as we head throughout the afternoon hours, and the sunshine will be returning, and then temperatures will gradually begin to warm back up. 43 degrees are forecast for tonight, that overnight low starting off early tomorrow morning. A chilly start, but we should be warming up pretty quickly with a lot of that sunshine around. Winds will pick up out of the south for tomorrow. We'll see a high of 71 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. We're going to continue to see those 70s on Tuesday, 56. So we'll see a temperature drop on Wednesday with that cold front moving through. 62 degrees on Thursday, and the numbers will be heading back up, mainly dry on Friday. And as it looks right now on Chelsea for Saturday into Sunday for the weekend, a little bit unsettled with some scattered showers and storms, but we'll be back into the 70s. Not too bad.
See, I feel like it's evening out just a little bit. I mean, I know we have the dip back and the storms, but it's not quite as severe as it was last week.
No, I think we should be good. We'll get through this weekend. We'll see, hopefully, those steady temperatures throughout the remainder of the summer.
Level out. Yes. All right. Thanks so much, Kristen. Russ Smith has less than 7 days to make his NBA decision. Find out what legendary Louisville players think he should do. And we're down to a dozen days until the Derby. Hear from the most popular man on the backside next in sports with Adam Lefkoe.
All right, Sunday evening roll call. Gordy Jang gone. Shane Behan staying. Russ Smith Nobody knows, and we might have to wait a week. April 28th, next Sunday, that is the NBA early entry eligibility deadline. A lot of words, simple meaning. Russ Smith has to decide by then. His father saying he's going to head to the NBA. Russ saying he's still 50-50. His teammates would love him back. Former stars say, hey, think it through.
It's 50-50 chance. I mean, we never know. He's just weighing out his options. I mean, whatever decision he made, I hope the best for him. I mean, if he come back here, we're going to work hard, just try to look and get back to where we was this year.
Once you step across that line, you can't come back. So I would tell him to take his time, really think about it, and whatever decision he makes, be prepared and be ready to go.
All right, tomorrow is the Catspies, the UK award show honoring the best athletes and coaches in the program. It will likely be a quiet night for football, but that's under construction, you see. Stoops has his work cut out for him. Just a few months until the battle in Nashville. Until then, he's relying on his quarterbacks like Jalen Whitlow to lead the team through off-season conditioning.
They got to work. And they got to get with their receivers, and we got to get on the same page, and they got to be leaders on the field. They've been humbled, as you know, and so they know we have a lot to do, and they know we're going to work hard to get better.
In just more than 30 minutes, we'll be a dozen days from Derby. That's when it really picks up. The media will be in full force tomorrow at Churchill Downs. Our Ken Spencer and I will be reporting from the backside all week. This morning, Todd Pletcher had his two biggest horses on the track, Verrazano, and this is Revolutionary. In total, Pletcher could have 6 horses in the Derby, and that's a lot to take care of.
Well, last summer at Saratoga, we had a very successful season with our 2-year-olds, and 2-year-olds turned into 3-year-olds. So, you got to be fortunate and have them stay healthy. That's the challenge all the time. Will continue to be the challenge for the next 13 days.
Speaking of big-name prospects, Charlie Strong picked up 2 big recruits this weekend, a 3-star wide receiver out of Jacksonville and a 4-star safety from Cincinnati. That's 9 recruits now for 2014. On the field, Strong's biggest recruit, Teddy Bridgewater, always been getting the Heisman hype, and as we know, ESPN reporting, U of L almost played Texas A&M and their Heisman winner, Johnny Manziel. Between the two, Charlie is taking Teddy.
How well he throws a football, and then where he places the ball, and then you don't get many turnovers with him, because just his whole preparation, when he walks into the game, he knows exactly. You can almost count on that. You can say one guy gonna play well, that's him. I don't know how everyone else is gonna play, but he's gonna play well.
Now, former Louisville football coach Bobby Petrino, excitement building in Bowling Green. A lot to be expected, though, in that steep learning curve. Western going from a run-first offense to a dominant passing system.
That's the one thing about college football is you have to play fast. It's not just your 40 time that allows you to play fast. It's really understanding what you're doing, understanding what the other side of the ball is doing, so you don't hesitate at all. So this next time when we install it, when we come back in August, I'll expect them to have it and get it. And then it'll be our job as a coaching staff to mold that around who the starting quarterback is.
You know who's really getting it right now? The Reds. First of all, they make their rookies dress up like it's a night at the Roxbury. And then in the game, poking shots in the right field with some dangerous scoring. It was 2-2. Brandon Phillips starts the scoring. Todd Frazier gets another one. They win 10-6. Reds now a Major League best 10-3 at home. Some other scores for you. The Bats fall the Indians 2-1 in Indy. U of L falls at St. John's. They're now 30-9 on the season. And UK loses to South Carolina. They've now lost 6 straight games. NBA playoffs. Pacers taking on the Hawks. Paul George is the man. Great up and under there. He finished with 23. He had 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and that block. A triple-double for Paul George. Each starter scored in double figures for the Pacers. They win 107-90. STP 400 in Kansas City. Matt Kenseth was on the pole, and he finished in first. Oh, yeah. Fending off Casey Kane down the stretch. Jimmy Johnson third, Truex Jr. fourth, and Clint Boyer in fifth. So it's going to be an action-packed day. We are going to be on GMK throughout the week, getting ready for Derby.
Dozen days to Derby.
Dozen days to Derby. Are you excited?
I am so excited.
The coolest thing is, one, Rick Pitino is going to be on the backside this year because his horse is in it. Calvin Burrell is on a big-time horse, and as we mentioned earlier, Todd Pletcher may be 6. Great storylines already. Going to be fun these next 2 weeks.
Going to be a good year. All right,
Yes,
thanks
indeed.
so much, Adam. We'll be right back.
Excited for a lot of sunshine tomorrow. We'll be at 71 degrees, 73 on Tuesday. Then tracking a few showers on Wednesday. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but not looking at any severe weather. 56 though. Really cooling down.
Yeah, cooling off a little bit. Thanks so much, Kristen, and thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Tune in tomorrow morning for GMK.